Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki, a Kenyan politician who served as the third president of the Kenya, and he had previously served as the fourth vice president of Kenya for 10 years from 1978 until 1988 under President Daniel Arap Moi. Kenyans and foreign dignitaries today bidding their final farewell to the late President Mwai Kibaki. The country's third president died last week. Let's talk now to Linus Kaikai, the editorial director at the Citizen TV in Kenya. Thank you so much for making the time to speak to us, Linus. Just give us a sense of history here, where Kenya had a president like Daniel Arap Moi, who was so ubiquitous that the people who reported to him or who worked with him in the advancement of Kenya were not really known, such as Mwai Kibaki, who served as a vice president under him.
Right, Mwai Kibaki is a historical figure. He's got a very strong place in the history of Kenya, having come to politics in as early as 1963, just when the country was about to get independence. He was drafted in to run the office of the Independence Party, that's the Kenya African National Union, KANU. He was a lecturer at the Makerere University at the time, and he was approached to come in and be the executive officer of the KANU party. That's just before independence. And in the few months that he served there, he organized the party. His organizational skills were really appreciated and noticed. And from there, after about 6 months, he went into parliament and became a member of parliament for a constituency here in Nairobi. And that marked the beginning of a very, very long career in Kenyan politics. Mwai Kibaki is regarded as one of the longest serving members of parliament, not just in Kenya, but in the history of the Commonwealth. He was in parliament for over 50 years as member of parliament. And that's by the time he retired in 2013. He had served for over 50 years as member of parliament. Then Mwai Kibaki has had a really interesting political career because it's a career that took him to government, and then he came out of government to the opposition, where he became the leader of official opposition for 10 years. That is between 1997 and 2002. And then after opposition politics, his luck finally came through in 2002 when he was elected president. And I must say he was elected on a platform of popularity. And he ended the rule of the very party he served and founded, KANU Party, when he moved to the opposition and became part of what was called the National Rainbow Coalition, a body of all the opposition political parties that got together to defeat the Kenya African National Union in 2002. He served as president for 10 years, retired very quiet, and went to quiet retirement in 2013. After retirement, he never really said much to the public, never gave interviews to the media. He was never seen in public events for that much until his ailment recently and subsequent death. Desiree.
You speak of a 50-year stint in parliament and longer in politics. What legacy was left of this?
This was a very accomplished debater. Mwai Kibaki has a lot of papers and bills and pieces of legislation to his name. The first one is called the African Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965, which basically introduced African socialism as an economic model for Kenya. By training, Mwai Kibaki is an economist. That is where he really thrived. And he did thrive as minister. He started off as an assistant minister for commerce and industry. Then he was promoted to minister in charge of finance, where he is one of the longest serving ministers of finance. And he is credited with stabilizing or balancing the numbers in the early years of independence as finance minister for both first President Jomo Kenyatta and later the second President Daniel Arap Moi. He was finance minister of both. And then later as president, that is the period within which a lot of Kenyans give credit to Mwai Kibaki for stabilizing the economy. Basically, access to credit became quite easy for business, both large and small scale businesses. In his term, the interest rates with the banks really were controlled. In his term, the shilling was stabilized, and the foreign exchange became quite stable. So Mwai Kibaki's legacy is really around the questions of the economy. He was regarded as stable hands, a person who did not do a lot of politics but did a lot when it came to managing the national economy.
And would you say that that's what Kenya needed, or is there a balance needed from the politics and the economic side?
Kenya is a very delicate country politically.
All right, we're trying to reconnect with Linus Kaikai. He's the editorial director for Citizen TV in Kenya, but we're showing you live visuals of the cortege in the funeral service of Kenya's third President Mwai Kibaki that we have been talking about this morning. Earlier, we spoke to Sarah Kimani, who gave us a sense of what is happening today as the funeral cortege makes its way towards the stadium, and also that President Cyril Ramaphosa has already arrived at the stadium. But President Cyril Ramaphosa is among foreign dignitaries who are attending in Nairobi today to attend the funeral service of Kenya's third president, the late Mwai Kibaki. Ramaphosa last week eulogized Kibaki as a crusader for democracy and Pan-Africanism. Kibaki dominated Kenya's politics for close to 50 years, serving both in government and the opposition before ascending to presidency. His presidency is a mixed legacy of sorts, from a reformist economist, as you just heard from Linus, an educationist, to a man who squandered a chance to fight corruption and tribalism.